Cut out the jibber jabber. Don't be babbling like a fool. Say what you got to say. That's all. Then shut your dang pie hole.
Zero Dark 30.
Oh, it's Zero Dark 30 blasting out of the bunker. Folks, this is the Prepared Mind channel. Zero Dark 30 blasting out of the bunker. What the heck am I talking about? Well, it has hit the fan, folks. It has. If you're not aware of it, well, you need to be. Listen to this. When you're the House Minority Whip, a Democrat, you're holding office. You are politically elected by the people to represent them. Shouldn't you have your marbles in your head? Shouldn't the elevator go all the way to the top? Shouldn't you have a modicum of decorum? Right, I am just a satirist, a social commentator who uses humor. Even if you don't like my humor, hey, too bad. I am not an elected official representing the people in a republic. And we're going to, this is going to get more media attention. But the House Minority Whip for the Democrats at the state level has called for, quote, killing everyone. Literally, folks, justifying first-degree murder. We need, and here's the quote, right? We need to condone first-degree murder. What do you think of that? If I wasn't driving, I'd do a frickin' mic drop and walk. This is what these people are about. Political power at any cost. Now understand this. It is 2023. This is not going to get better. This will get worse. This will get worse. We're going to have major social violent uprisals in 2024. It's going to happen. I can't see how it can't with these people and what they're calling for. Okay? Calling for the violent deaths of political opponents. This is precisely, exactly a mirror of what happened in other countries. Except in America, we have free speech. So they're acting as if this type of threat, this type of violent threat to political officials is just fine. As if it's acceptable. As if it's legal to do so. You threaten me, we're going to have some problems. Folks, I did not like it when a local electric utility general manager threatened me with eminent domain on my property and taking it. That resulted in him losing his job. And see, I'm mentioning that because it's a nice way to say, I don't like being threatened, and this is what I do. These people are now threatening us, you, me, America, with murder if you do not agree with them. If you stand in their way, if you try and stop them. Folks, you're not threatening their families. You're not threatening their lives. You're saying we want a political system that represents us and our beliefs, our desire for freedom and liberty. And they're saying, no, our idea is total slavery and government authoritarianism. And if you stand up and try and oppose us, we're going to murder you. Now, just because it is not happening quite yet does not mean that shit has not hit the fan. Oh, it has. That's why they feel able to say these things. They think they can get away with it. It is a state of lawlessness by the government and its officials. And this is an elected representative. House Minority Democrat Whip at the state level is calling for condoning the murders of political opponents. This is not uncommon, folks, in their thinking. This isn't a street radical. This isn't an Antifa member. This isn't a BLM idiot. This isn't a college student who doesn't know their ass from the hole in the ground, even though they've been told by their professor that they're now an expert because they sat through a 6-hour lecture on fucking Marxism. For you and I, folks, this is a sobering discussion with lots of humor. Gotta have our satire. And it should be very, very sobering, because that is exactly how these people think. This is what they want. This is where they're aiming for. And it is not uncommon. Right? A judge goes to Stanford to talk about law. What is law? What is being a lawyer? What is attorney's work? Right? It's working with the law to carry out the will of the people. He's met with Marxist hatred, anger, vitriol, and threats, including the rape of his daughters. That's how these people think, folks. It's real. And the moment that they can act on it, they do, whether they feel despondent and, without hope, or whether they think it's a key way to get to exactly where they want to be. And I cite as an example the Nashville mass murdering fruitcake. The biological male who thought it was a female, or was it a biological female that thought it was a male? Either way, it is a state of mental illness. That person's existing in a state of mental illness, and they got to the point where they're like, well, this is going to be a satisfying way for me to go out. I'm going to die today, but before I do, I'm going to kill a bunch of innocent people. That is exactly what they're thinking, folks. Exactly how they think, including political officials, and not just this House Minority Whip who is a Democrat thinking that way. Other Democrats think that way as well. You think that screwy broad in Congress, who's from an island, what is it, Virgin Islands? She's not even truly a representative, but she's allowed on a committee, right, to question people. They hate Republicans. They hate Americans. They hate anyone who wants freedom, and they want to stop us. They want to stop us from being free. They want to take everything from us, including our property and our lives. This is not a fucking joke. Not when you post a meme suggesting violence. Not when you say we need to condone first-degree murder. Not when they cut off an effigy, a pretend head made in the likeness of President Trump. Cut it off, cover it in fake blood, literally, and then hold it up in front of the camera while you're holding a knife and act like it doesn't matter, like it's a joke. It's not a joke, folks. And they didn't think of it as a joke. That is what they want to see. That's what they're showing us. They are liars. They are hypocrites. They are violent. They are murderers. They are sadistic. They are perverts. It is, folks. Shit, it's the fan. When those adjectives describe the political leaders that have been elected in this country, and all I want is for fucking McCarthy to do his job and start impeaching people who are representative of this attitude, who do not and should not enjoy a place in governing this United States, these United States. That is a great privilege, a great honor. And this is what these people do. They call for murder. Literal murder, killing of people. What if I called for the killing of special protected groups. Oh, how long would this channel last? How long before someone knocked on my door and said, "Are you serious? What are you doing? Why don't you step with us? We're going to have a little talk." No, it wouldn't last long at all. But these people can sit in and hold office. They can hold folks' political opinions that are threatening at the very least, claiming absolute hatred for a political figure, and then they have and exercise the authority to prosecute them. And they use the most bogus, bullshit, weak-sauced evidence to convict people and arrest them. And I cite President Trump. He is now in New York City, and he's going to have to go explain himself to a bunch of idiots who want him not only arrested, but dead. Folks, chance favors the prepared mind is yours.
The darkness surrounds us. It's time to light up the night. It's time for Zero Dark 30 with John.
Yay!